And we are live. I'm just going to share it out to everybody. Welcome, everyone, watching the... Loud for me. Why is that so loud for me? Watching the pre-show. This is episode 202 of the Crystal Chronicles. Your Dissidia Final Fantasy Ever Omnia podcast. That's what it is. That's the story. I'm sticking to it. You let me know what you think. Oh, hey, that's me talking. That's me talking. See anything here? All right, let me just share out to some other folks that we're going to be Orion Martyrs here. How you doing tonight?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, what?
Is that on my end or your end that you're a little staticky? Hang on.
It could be. Are you listening to me or the music?
Just you in Discord.
In Discord?
Yep.
Let me know if you're listening online, if you hear any static or fuzz. That kind of stuff. You should hear myself and Mino talking. I hear some weird static because there's weird music playing. Not that kind of static. Sounds fine on YouTube. Thank you. Viol Race. How do you say that? Anybody on Twitch? Are we not on Twitch? Are we not streaming on Twitch?
Shit. You were on Twitch a second ago. I don't know why it cut. Huh.
No. We're on Twitch. I just didn't know.
Okay.
I just didn't know if we were on Twitch or not. I hadn't seen it. Cross is here. Cross 13. Everybody check out Cross 13. Viol. Pretzel rocks. The Peyton conspiracy. I'm gonna grab some beer. Because I don't got a lot to add to tonight's discussion, so maybe if I'm intoxicated, I'll be able to make something up. Yeah, good. Twitch is up. What's up? Destros here. Speedy Ultra is here. Cross 13 is here. Our friends Multiracial Lion, Tree Void, and Alphanaw are finishing up their show on YouTube. On the JP side of things, so make sure you check that out if you haven't. Every other Wednesday night that BC's not streaming, so we'll wait a few minutes. This was a last minute change because I'm like, yeah, well, let's skip last week because I was going to be we're trying to do all these like last minute summer things. If you have a family, you probably try to do the same thing because we didn't really take a big vacation during the summer, and so we're just trying to do these day trips, and so I'm like, we're gonna be in the city, let me not have to worry about coming back to the show, plus nothing happened. Hey, Louie's here. And then I'm like, oh yeah, we were also gonna be gone overnight in the city tomorrow, which is this Thursday. So yeah, Kmart's here, Excalibur's here. So yeah, so we figured we'd do it tonight. We do have two things to talk about, which is good. And then, tomorrow night, a secret, super secret. I guess we can talk about it a little bit. I don't know. Everybody seems to think it's going to be the Terra banner, but we'll talk about that a little bit. Probably later on in the show. Maybe do some polls tonight. I don't have anything on this new cycle and lots of tickets, so... Oh, hey, no problem, Louis. Happy birthday. earlier this week, I believe, or last week. That's the most of my Facebook work. I just try to wish everybody a happy birthday I can, and do that at our church. Write little birthday notes to everybody, and I don't know, something nice to do, I think. Celebrate the fact that you were born. It's a pretty miraculous thing at the end of the day. You think about it? Any one of us. The millions of DNAs that could have existed, you exist. Crazy. That's crazy. Yes, past Wednesday. Yeah, I tell you, time is this last week has been. It's just intense. We were at the opening day of the Bears. Hey, Infamous Element just subscribed. Oh, that was excuse me. That was the live stream defo or raw life gifting a sub to Infamous Element. We are doing a sub campaign, and we'll start the show in a few minutes. Just give people a couple minutes to realize we're doing, and we'll let the other show wind down a little bit. We are doing a sub campaign to make me pull actual resources and then fully invest in Fujin FR. Like Blue Gen, like fully invest in Fujin. And I on top of that, so we got that 31. Okay, it's a little more intense music than I was really going for in a second. So we're at 31 of 100 before Fujin. So and that will go until the Fujin banner disappears. So we'll just keep that running. That's a running tab. But I figured tonight, any subscriber, any YouTube membership, any gift sub, etc., super chat we get tonight, I'll do 10 tickets. We'll add to that Fujin count, but I'll do 10 tickets on something tonight, and we'll add that up, and there you go. Yeah, I haven't, I just kind of heard about the Terra thing, and so I don't really remember where she was in the JP timeline. So I don't know how early she is or any of that. So again, that's something we can talk about. I mean, I'd probably pull for her FR. I already have her here. Hey, we're officially live on our own Discord. It only takes 8 minutes to to recognize Discord. Yeah, seasonal banner. She was released near Lunafray. Okay. So similar timeline. Thanks, Excalibur. I knew it was around there. I just didn't know quite when it was. So yeah, no, I mean it's Terra or it's a GL first. GL first, Fan Daniel. GL first, Alpha Nod's dad. We're playing Endwalker now.
Oh, did you get to the first dungeon? I kind of like
No. We
asleep.
stopped.
I fell asleep. Yeah.
We stopped before we got to Tower Azat. So we haven't done Tower Azat, and I have a meeting next Monday, so I have to tell them that I'm not going to be around next Monday. So we may try to find another day or save it for the following Monday. So. Because I'm pretty sure we could probably use your help on that, because that's kind of the dungeons aren't easy for that game, are they? For that expansion. I know we got to fight the 3 sisters, and then fight them together, so that's going to be fun. Yeah, GL first, Amaranth. I got I don't know if any of you people saw. Oh, these are cards that are being graded. Our good friend Joe Wags sent me some Final Fantasy trading cards, so I want to say there might be an Amarant in there. There's, I know Freya, Zidane, and Garnet I got in there. Very cool. HOV Man is here, dare to defy. You can solo with trust NPCs. Speedy Ultra, I have been playing the entirety. I have been playing the entirety of Final Fantasy XIV from the 2.0 until now Endwalker, which we started on with two of my friends from college, and Mino joins us occasionally. He was using Xeno's character for a while, so I am not doing NPCs. We are literally, we get together once a week or once every other week when our schedules allow, and we've been playing that. For the 20 years before that, we were doing role-playing games over online. So, HOV Man. Oh, hey. BC's here. Check out what the hell. Check out that. I think that's Billie Eilish. Yeah, this is definitely Dragonfire by Billie Eilish. Very, very on brand with Billie. I think we're ready to go. Let's stop this music. We got a good crowd with us. Indolent Lard here. Trevoy just resubbed for 12 months. Thank you. 1 year. Thank you both so much for the streams and the lovely community. HOV Man has become a member, so that's 2 more to the kitty. So I think the other show is done. Again, check out Trevoid's channel. They were streaming just before us here. RBK's here. Billie Eilish sagas. Yeah. So let's take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and start the show, friends. The calm, fun roll in the experience of stuff. Xenoblade. All right, let's start the show in 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome everyone to episode 202 of the Crystal Chronicles, your Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia podcast, coming to you every week on Twitch, YouTube, and your favorite podcast app, bringing you all your DissidiaFFOO news and talk. I am your host, Mark, joining you on this August 3rd, Wednesday night, 2022. And I am not alone. I am not alone. I am joined by my good friend and yours. It is Mino Spellgood. Mino, how you doing?
Hey, Mark. Doing good. How was your, we took last week off, right?
Yeah.
How was your week off?
Very, very intense. We did Bears training camp. That is a football team, the Chicago Bears. We did Bears training camp, I think on Wednesday, which was really cool. It was kind of the first day they're open to the public, but it was still a private event, and so we had an invitation to that. Got to my boys got to meet all the players. Their head quarterback, Justin Fields, signed their hats, talked to them, did a whole bunch of things. It was just a really cool experience. Then we spent all Thursday in the city. In Chicago. Friday we had a baseball game with the church, and then Saturday we had a graduation 21st birthday party. And then Sunday's a busy day, and then Monday, Tuesday trying to get things done so that we can spend tomorrow and then Friday in the city and go to to my kids' first Cubs game in Wrigley Field, at Wrigley Field. So we've never taken the kids to Wrigley Field. They've seen the Cubs play at other parks, but they've seen them up in Milwaukee. They've seen them down in Atlanta, but they've never seen the Cubs play at Wrigley Field. So, yeah. So, it's It's been a crazy week, and that means I'm full disclosure. I am very behind on defo stuff. I was able to grind the boards a little bit last night as I was prepping and organizing cards for this big Pokemon card game party my kids and I are having with their friends this Saturday. So, but besides that, yeah, I'm kind of behind on content for the first time in a long time, but for good reasons, and I'm glad about that. Hey, this episode is sponsored by our good friends at Manscaped. Maybe you feel like something's off. Maybe you feel like, you just don't have the same kind of mojo that you used to. Well, friends, look no further than www.manscaped.com. They will set you up with great equipment, great gear, personal hygiene products, clothing, really make you feel confident about yourself and where you're going, what you're doing, how you feel impacts how others see you. And so whether you're trying to impress a special someone, get a few extra tips on your OnlyFans page, or get that job interview, Manscaped.com can help with all your personal hygiene and grooming products. I could have used the weed whacker, get some nose hairs here. I'll have to do that tomorrow before I go out for a couple of days. But www.manscaped.com, 20% off your entire order if you use the promo code TCCPOD, TCCPOD, 20% off your entire order. You're already saving great low prices. Tell them we sent you, you'll save even more. We are also having a sub campaign. So if you sub on us to Twitch, if you become a member on YouTube, if you gift a sub, gift memberships, which apparently is the thing you can do, if you super chat, we will add the total. And what we are doing is if we get 100 subs by the time Fujin's banner disappears, I will completely pull using gems to get Fujin's kit, and I will upgrade her completely and use her on content. But tonight, as we add to that number, we've already added a few to that number tonight. I will be doing some ticket polls on whatever banner is available here. So feel free to throw a sub or anything else to move us towards Blue Gin and FR Blue Gin, and then also for some fun polls later tonight. Well, the news of the day, we did have the Squex community stream. Not a lot of surprises except for this new type of content, which we'll talk about a little bit later. I think we'll talk about that in between the two events. But besides that, not too much. A couple of bug updates. I don't think there's any new costumes. A lot of old costumes. We did get our rewards from the Squex community stream, so it's always nice to get those extra rewards. And we've gotten them from the retweet campaign and everything else. I think if we do get a new or perhaps unannounced FR tomorrow, we may actually get a new costume for the first time here in a little while. But as of right now, I don't think there's anything new on the sales patch. Don't forget to re-get your Moogle Pass, though, because I forgot mine last month. I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably do that. It was only a couple days. But, Mino, are you still getting the Mog Pass?
Yeah, I forget why.
Yeah,
I think Ultimate Weapon Orbs.
Ultimate Weapon, yes. Yeah, and,
but also,
and enhancements.
I do really like the stuff they're doing with the game right now, so it's just like passive support, right? Monthly
right, exactly.
payment.
Thank you, Be Lucky, gifting a sub to Multiracial Lion, and everybody check out Multiracial Lion, Alphanaud, and Treevoid. We're doing a show on Treevoid's YouTube channel, so check that out after this. You can catch up on they're talking JP, Defo, and what's going on in that world. So make sure that you support them on what they're trying to do with their Treevoid TV hour. Well, let's get into it. Man, we got a big event. It comes around every couple months. And that is the World of Illusions Divine. And Indolent Lord just subscribed, resubbing for 6 months. Bluegen is a nice bonus. Yes, more power to Bluegen. We are at 35 of 100 if you're keeping count. If you're keeping count, we're at 35 of 100. So, ultimate, divine Odin. He's a big scary guy on a horse, and you have to grind those divine boards to get those things and get that stuff, and then keep tickets forever. That's how that works. But we did get some new characters in the midst of this, or upgrades to existing characters, not new characters, let me say. And so the first three we got, Rude and Pain, got their C90s, some reworks, and their Force Enhancement board. Lael got his BT Plus. So not a lot of huge changes to these characters. Lael gets a lot more brave gains, obviously a little bit more damage limit up, HP damage up, so that's real nice. But the same kind of thing, he already had his BT, just makes his BT effect a little bit better. And of course, they can all use ultimate weapons. Now, again, even though they haven't gotten any significant changes with this new content that we'll talk about in a little bit, some of these characters might be good to pick up if you don't have them. Pain has an interesting mechanic where she can debuff depending on where she's standing, or buff depending on where she's standing. If she's standing on one side of the field, she debuffs the enemy. If she stands on the other, she buffs the party. If she stands in the middle, it's both and. Obviously, Rude is a big battery character, healing, all that kind of stuff. And Lael is a nice part of any launch comp if you're working on launch comp. So, all three of them, not maybe characters you may have looked over, but if you're really trying to get this upcoming content done and you're missing some pieces, maybe something you should be looking for. Hey, Raw Life from the live stream just gifted. Let me count because I don't have 5. Thank you. Just gifted 5 because I was talking while that happened. Thank you, Raw Life. We are at,
and Tree Void gave 10 memberships on YouTube as well.
Oh, thank you for letting. I thought I saw something else. I don't know why YouTube memberships do not show up on here. So thank you, Tree Void, for the 10 memberships on YouTube. And if you are not on YouTube, jump on YouTube and get those memberships while they last. So thank you very much for both of your support. So yeah, we are at 50 of 100 towards the Blue Gin, and hey, at least 200 at least 200 ticket pulls tonight. I said 10 tickets for every sub, so at least 200 tickets tonight. So I guess I'm going to be trying to get Gabranth's and Ursula's.
Wait, is it subs and memberships? So we're at 10? I mean, we're at 20?
Yeah.
Wait, no, we're at... Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
20. Yep, 20. Yeah, 50 total for the Blue Gin because we started with 30.
Zamboni Driver just threw another one. There you go.
Hey, thank you, Zamboni Driver, for the gifted sub. Yeah, we could talk about stuff, or we could just sit and be quiet and let you guys sub. Either way, it's that's a riveting podcast material when we just thank people for subbing from the live stream. But I appreciate it. And the podcast is free. So, I mean, you get what you get, right? Get what you get and you don't cry a fit, podcast listeners. We do really love and appreciate all of you. But yeah, so, I don't necessarily think any of these characters are anything special, but if you are trying to piece some things together, picking up one of these characters might be somewhat helpful depending on your needs. Mino, what are your thoughts on these 3 non-new weapon characters?
So with Dare to Defy, which did we cover that? I thought we were going to do that with news, but I guess we're saving it.
No, I was going to save it for the interlude because that's part of the question, but it's going to be hard to not talk about it, I guess. So,
Yeah, we're just talking about events, but basically, I don't know. It's a week old at this point.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you guys know what Dare to Defy is. I honestly thought we were going to do an intro to that for part of the news, because I think the only real new thing introduced... we didn't even talk about the community stream and what's coming this month. Don't we usually do that? Oh, well. Yeah. But anyways, with Dare to Defy, I'm really starting to look at all these units very, very differently. And, it might be copium, but I have a lot better opinion on a lot of these characters. That being said, I'm not really impressed with Pain and Rude. Yeah. But Lael is not a terrible pickup.
No,
I don't think. I know the meme going around the community is that you don't need Lael if you have Selfie, which one I think is ridiculous because Lael does other things as well. Like his launches and his turn manip sort of. He does a lot of cool stuff, but also now that you have to do 7 lockout fights,
Yep.
it's not
You
terrible
can't
to have
you
more
can't
than one
use
launcher.
you can't use
More than one
selfie in
launcher.
all of them. Yes. That's
Not
for
only
sure.
that, but like selfie. Most people pulling off the classic cam cheese usually bring a selfie friend because it's
Right.
really hard to fit selfie into the group itself. So if you're actually trying to do the ticket missions or the dare to defy, which it's a completely different game now. There are people who are ignoring all of that and doing the cam cheese with friends, and then you have Mark saying that he's never going to use friends in this
No.
game again. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but etc. So like, if you actually want to go that route, Lael's not a terrible party member, whereas many people don't actually want to bring selfie
Right.
into their group. But I think Lael's a really nice pickup. That's it.
Yeah. Well, we also got a character with a new weapon and a new BT, a new FR weapon and a new BT, and that is Judge Gabranth. If you're not familiar with Judge Gabranth, he is a melee attacker, debuffer, damage mitigator, and instant breaker. So he is able to put these debuffs on his enemies, which evolve depending on the different buffs he has. So they've changed from Criminal's Mark to Outlaw Brand to now Felon's Punishment with his burst effect. And they're great debuffs. I mean, with the BT effect, it's attack 80% down, big poison, HP damage down, and HP damage up. So, I mean, really, really good debuffs. They are counter debuffs. So after the enemy takes a turn or after the enemy damages a party, the enemy gets the debuffs refreshed, which is really cool. 3 of the 4, maybe more than that. Yeah, his FR2. So 4 of his 6 buttons, I guess. If you want to talk the main buttons, break and unbreak and rebreak the target. So he's doing a lot of rebreaks. He's always been a pretty solid character, but now he does get his burst phase, which gives him some nice things. The normal kind of party boost to HP damage, brave damage, HP limit up, and then again upgrading his Outlaws brand to Felon's Punishment, and he does get a force weapon. Now his force weapon not nearly as exciting as his BT, in my opinion, because one of the conditions is based on whether a party member breaks the enemy on their turn. It does get a good damage up, 30% up, but it's if the party member breaks an enemy. So there are some ways around that. Obviously, you can bring characters that just unbreak and rebreak. You can bring characters that BT effects that help with that as well. But the other one is party member attacks a debuff target on turn. That's very easy to get, obviously. But the other one's not super easy to get. So I'm not sure how often you're going to be using that, unless you like Gao, because his partner is Gao. I know that. I did a little research myself. Why Mino? Why is Gao his partner?
Because they were both disowned by their fathers.
There we go.
They're both bastards. Does that make them bastards? No, bastards born out. Right?
Yes. No. I mean, potentially, I guess in the legal sense. But no. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Yes, in the traditional word of the word bastard, yes, that would be born out of wedlock. A little different than being disowned. Like Alpha and
Okay,
Alizé.
fine. I guess they're both compared to dogs a lot.
They're both
right?
compared to dogs.
That's the official OP. Isn't Gabranth known as Vane's dog or the Mad Dog or something? That's the title of his, right?
Yes.
That's real. That's FF lore right there. Also, thank you, Summon Biscuits.
Thank you, Summon Biscuits, for the sub. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, but I think overall, a lot of people, I mean, I assume a lot of people, and again, you can check on, you can check on TonberryTroupe.com for all that information. I'm going to let Mino talk about it. We'll get to the podcast polls, but I feel like just looking at the runs and looking at people online, I feel like a lot of people pulled for Gabranth, his FR or his BT or both. And so I think a lot of people are going to be using him. Now, how long they use him, I'm not really sure. But in this new kind of era of the game, hey, you need a lot of characters, so might as well, right? Overall, I think he's a pretty cool character, a little unique among the characters we've had. So, Mino, what are your thoughts on Judge Gabranth?
I think he's pretty okay. We talk about characters that are victim of unfortunate timing, but I feel like Gabranth actually has really good timing because I don't think his kit is particularly amazing, but I don't think anyone else around him does what he does.
No.
Yeah. So for example, like I think his FR condition is actually pretty decent on the breaks and hitting a debuff target. That's very easy to hit for certain characters, right? We don't have those characters updated just yet, but
Right.
that's obviously like just thinking off the top of your head as a veteran. There's a good handful of characters that fulfill those conditions pretty easily in the game's roster.
Right.
They're not updated anytime soon. I don't know who you would use in the meantime. Tidus kind of has the re-breaks, but not consistently. Right now, Gabranth is the best driver for his own FR, I believe. But I think the conditions are versatile enough that it's a good pickup.
Sephiroth's BT effect works with that, correct?
Right. That's so good. You're right. Like, I forgot that people are running Gabranth and Sephiroth, and that's
and Sephiroth is C90, and so can use an ultimate weapon. And...
Right, and he's decently recent, so he's still viable, still very viable. I don't know. It's debuffs and so like he does a lot of he does a lot of party mitigation. If you have his BT,
yes.
I know people are complaining that he's probably not as strong without his BT. Because without the BT, he can do it's like minus, looking at here, 70% attack. But the BT adds 40% to that.
Yeah.
It adds HP damage reduction and it's much stronger, and you can really notice it on these fights, because I don't know if you've done these fights yet, Mark. Odin hits really hard. And so does Ursula's, kind of, you let him get a turn, and they really fuck you up if they break you. Or they sometimes, Odin just is this huge HP attack that he can kind of survive. I don't know. So the mitigation with a fully built Gabranth is pretty decent, and the unbreaks are pretty good. Like, doing Odin without Gabranth is kind of questionable, because you need a lot of breaks on demand right there. So I would say he's a decent pickup. But again, I think it's just because nobody else around him is re-breaks on demand just yet. I guess we have Jacked, technically.
Yeah, Jacked, Zidane.
Zidane's kind of old.
Yeah,
though.
Vayne is kind of old. Somebody said Vayne. RBK said Vayne. Yeah, I mean they're older. Zidane's older. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So Indolent Lard's asking, which FR unit would you take for mitigation, Gabranth or Grimace? Right. I don't think you have either, correct?
No, I have. I mean, I have everything. I don't have Gabranth's new weapons, and I do have, what's his name? Oh no, I guess maybe I don't have Dash FR. I don't have either. But you can take. I mean, you can take Gabranth without his FR and stuff.
I'm not sure if this is a real question, and I am kind of biased. I did grab Gabranth. I didn't grab Dash, but Dash's numbers are pretty atrocious. I know his defense capabilities are pretty good, but it's atrocious. Fuck. Some people have been using Dash's FR decently as well. But
I mean, we'll talk about the fight, because there are certainly plenty of runs without that.
He's got a BT phase.
Yeah.
His FR is strong, his damage is higher, etc. But right, that's all I have on Gabranth.
All right. Well, again, TonberryTroupe.com. You can find out all the deets there. If we look to the podcast polls, thanks to J.A and Quetzalma and Materiabot for that, and we look at the 2 tickets across 8 servers for the main Gabranth banner with the FR and the BT. 12 pitying the BT straight up. Really interesting. That's kind of a risky move, especially on like before Dare to Defy. This whole month was kind of an easy skip. With that, yeah, people may be reconsidering. So 12 people wanting to pity the BT write up, 8 people pitying the BT or the FR, excuse me. 2 people pitying the LD, 84 tickets and 32 skips. So yeah, a lot of people. And most people skipping the second banner. But yeah, a lot of people pulling for Judge Gabranth. So good luck to you. And you do see that in the runs. There's a lot of runs with Gabranth in this fight. So that does make sense. He does obviously make it considerably easier because one of the big mechanics is you do need to have kind of unbreak or cancel break and then re-break on demand. It's technically in the game, it's afflict break status. And that's anytime you break the enemy, you're afflicting the break status and then canceling the break status to unbreak them. Unbreak, re-break, whatever. Is a lot easier. So, ultimate or divine Odin. Shinryu difficulty Odin, which I haven't done. He's a pain in the butt, is what I hear from that and have seen. Now, his FR gauge, not the worst. Player defense and brave damage resist goes down, and then his attack speed, brave damage, HP goes up. So that's pretty standard. Obviously, when he gets to 100%, he does his ultimate attack. He recovers from break, big AoE damage, guaranteed hit. If he breaks you, instant KO. And then he dispels and inflicts a debuff. And if he uses a follow-up attack on his turn against a debuff target with this special Blade Glint debuff, which is a single target attack, again, instant KO. So he has a lot of instant KOs. He's doing a lot of big damage besides that. But the real tricky part is at various different thresholds of his HP, he gains one special stack, and you don't see it, so it's a little confusing, of this invisible aura. And it's not invisible, but it's not like an overhead buff. It is a aura. And so normally, if he doesn't have any stacks, he just looks normal. If he has one stack, it's a yellow kind of aura around him. If he has 2 stacks, it's a red aura around him. And if he gains 3 stacks, you die. So that's bad. He'll warp and kill you. And that's not good. Don't do that. So at 89%, 69%, 39% of his health, he gains 1 stack. You can lower his stacks by breaking him. Fairly easy. He gains a stack, break him, he lowers his stack. We've had other mechanics like that, like the masked bosses that have the different masks. You break them to revert that. It's a similar idea. Similar colors too, right? White,
yellow,
white,
and red.
Yellow, red. Yeah. And then at 79%, 49%, 9%, he gains another stack, and then he cuts in turn order. And he'll take 2 turns. So that's painful. And then at 19% of his health, he gains 2 stacks. So that's the real problem, is at 19% of the health, he gains 2 stacks. And this is a problem I have heard in the community as people are trying to Cam Titus this and are doing 60% of his health in a burst phase, but not killing him. He gains 3 stacks immediately and then wipes the party. I have seen and heard that has been an issue for people. And so you can use the Cam Titus, but you have to make sure you do it towards the end and kill him in the burst phase, in the summon phase, whatever, so that he does not get to take a turn. So if he takes a turn, you're dead. Or you need to space it out a little bit so you're mitigating it. Obviously, Gabranth is doing a ton of mitigation. He's doing a ton of rebreaks. So he's MVP for this fight. Another person that I saw that I really liked for this fight was Alphino. But I think also Ursula would be a good choice because they both have Brave Floor. So the idea that you can't go below a certain amount of brave, which means you can't be broken, which certainly can help. And so I've seen people using those. I didn't see anybody using Ursula because obviously that event just came out a little bit ago, but I would assume that if you invested in her and like her kit, she would be very good. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people, I saw some really creative Galuf, people bringing Galif, Orin, obviously, Warrior of Light. I saw several in our server. If you go to our server under GL Help Strategy, we have different threads for every fight. Several people doing non-FR runs, although it doesn't look fun or exciting, like 90 plus turn, really long fights. But it is doable, but it does seem to be giving a lot of people a difficult time, because I think it is a difficult fight with a lot of things going on, and just have to manage the stacks and manage the thresholds and make sure you're not pushing too hard, let off the gas every once in a while. And we know, Dystopia Bard, shout out to our good friend Dystopia Bard. It's Wednesday night. Welcome to the Crystal Chronicles, your Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia podcast. But yeah, sometimes you got to let off the gas, and we know the community is not good at letting off the gas. Mino, what are your thoughts on this particular fight?
First, catching up on chat. Thank you, Leafblade Mouse, for the sub.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
And Lion said that Caius is coming in the next event and will be a great partner to Gabranth as well.
Yeah.
That's a great on-demand rebreaker. Not only that, but the Doom debuff just lets them break passively as well.
Yep.
Wow, I didn't know Caius was getting his update already. But to the fight itself, something about Odin, man. Like, something about these Odin fights, they always do pretty well. And by pretty well, I mean have unavoidable mechanics.
Yes.
And I remember the dare defy on this one is tough. And by the way, JP content creators did not doom this fight enough, because apparently a lot of people were really caught off guard about how hard it was. A lot of people struggled with this on Reddit and main court. I saw, like, wow, I was really surprised that a lot of people really struggled with these mechanics. Hell, there were a good amount of TCC regulars in our Discord as well, saying this is the reason they don't like giving bosses turns, or they don't like they do the Cam Tidus run because they don't want to see enemy force time, because a lot of people just get killed by that force time.
Yeah.
Because I think you have to juggle a few things, right? Like when the aura is up, or during his force when the aura is up and he breaks you, you're dead.
Yep.
If you bring dodge, there's still guaranteed breaks. I don't know if you've tried that. And then he also has a really fat vertical slice battery into HP attack that can kill you without a hefty amount of mitigation. So it's really interesting that he only has 3 attacks really, but he can kill you either by battering himself into an HP attack, or just breaking you in any way. And it's just a fun fight that you have to account for a lot of things. Very tight. I think you were mentioning Alphino. I did that for my initial run, right? Very nice. And then for the Dare to Defy, I shamelessly stole Scott Ong's run. I don't know if you've seen it. It's been making the rounds.
Oh, no.
Because he came up with a really budget team, and a lot of the community's been copying him because it's just so effective. It's Lightning. Fuck, what is it? Lightning. How did I forget already? Somebody help me out here. This team's fucking everywhere, guys. Oh, Lightning, Leo, and Selfie. Thank you, Excalibur. Yeah, no, wow, genius player. I don't always agree with Scott Ong's takes, but he's an amazing player. And basically, this is why I love Dare to Defy, by the way. People are rediscovering how viable some of these late Lufania Plus characters are. But I remember when Leo came out, back in the day, we thought you remember Leo LD's gimmick, right? It deals an additional portion of the HP damage done.
Right.
And then that used to be like a small amount, and we're like, it's a neat way to artificially add more damage, kind of like a small HP damage cap, but it's not extra dumps. Well, apparently if you load up the HP damage so much, it basically doubles it. And that's what this team did, because with Selfie's launches and Leo's LD and a bunch of buffs with the right calls, he's basically doubling the entire team's dumps. It was really good. But the strat was basically no turn Odin, and eventually he'll hit his force time. And, that's the guaranteed break. But every time he warps, he only does the one attack during force time, right? Which you can evade, but it's a forced break. And everyone's bringing Reno Call. because Reno's base call is if the enemy does a physical attack, they delay themselves by 2 turns.
Oh.
And so basically, Odin only ever gets his guaranteed warp turns. Reno neuters the damage and delays him, and then you bring some dispels because he'll kill you during debuffs. I forgot that was another kill condition.
Yep.
If you're debuffed, he'll kill you during force
Right.
time.
Yeah.
and so it's a long, agonizing run, Mark. You're probably not gonna like it. It's like 40+ minutes.
Oh, nice. Yeah. No, that sounds awful. Yeah.
And it's like you averaged like 90+ turns, but it used tools that a lot of people had, and
You're
using
probably not gonna use. Yeah. So.
Yeah. These are some old ass characters, Leo and Lightning, and no force weapons. So
did you need Lightning BT plus?
No.
Oh, really?
I did it with base BT, and I'm almost positive somebody else did it even without a BT. But it was very, very smooth sailing.
Cool. Awesome. I may have to try that. That sounds awful, but yeah. Reno Excalibur says Reno Pyramid also prevents the debuff. So yeah, check out Scott Ong. Scott Ong's got a YouTube channel. He shares all of his ideas. Suocan, subscribing with the Prime. Thank you for that. Excalibur, of course, has the infographic you can check out. That is on our information content. Destroth has some team comps as well. That they're both here as well, but you can check that on our information content. They're all hanging out in our Discord as well. Good people, good players. So it is fun to see, and we're going to talk about that thing coming up. So, but yeah, obviously, if you're having difficulty with this, come on our Discord, ask for help, go to the strategy section, and say, hey, this is what I've tried, this is what I got. I don't think if you're approaching most of the content this month with a friend unit, without lockouts, if you're not trying to get the bonus tickets, if you're not trying to do Dare to Defy, you'll probably have an easier time. But if you are trying to do all that stuff, it's going to be a lot harder. And that's more fun for us. That's for sure. And gives us something more to talk about. So, let's move to talking about Dare to Defy. So there wasn't really any extra news from the Squix community stream. We haven't been talking a lot about those, except if there's things that we got caught off guard, which is this new type of event, Dare to Defy. Now, the special ticket missions, which you get if you have the Moogle Pass and gives you 20 extra tickets if you do the Shinryu without a friend unit, with the featured character, that is ongoing. So we still have that, kind of like a challenge quest. But now this new Dare to Defy is an event. It starts now. It started with the Divine Odin. I keep saying Ultimate. Divine Odin. And it's going to go until September 7th. And so you'll actually be able to use characters well after this 2 cycles are done. So I know a lot of people are trying to do one at a time, but realize that you can give this time. This is not permanent content, but it is content where, you're going to be able to have a little bit of time and some other tools at your disposal. But brand new lockout content. You can only use characters once you have to get perfect. You have to get all the conditions. You do not get to bring a friend unit. So most of you have already been doing this. You're familiar with it, but it's tower lockout content. I mean, it's one of the kind of things we've been asking for, almost like a tower event, like a monthly tower event. I mean, this is kind of it, except it's lockout, and so you can't bring the same 3 characters to every single battle. Really, I mean, really, really great idea on the devs' part, because this month was a big fat skip for a lot of people. Hoarders were going to be hoarding, and waiting until Luna Freya, get Cam and Tidus in your set. But okay, now get Cam and Tidus in your set, but you're not going to be able to complete this content. So not only are you going to have to keep pulling and probably pull for some FRs you didn't want or weren't looking at, you're going to actually have to pull for some other characters if you've been hoarding even more and don't have the LDs, the BTs to really make this content viable. So thankfully, there are a lot smarter people than me on this community doing crazy ass runs, and so they'll give you some help. But I really think this is a good move. I haven't heard a lot of negativity towards this. Maybe Mino, you have some other things you've heard, but I see the most of the people I've interacted with seem to think this is kind of a positive move. Again, difficult, but you don't have to do it. The rewards are pretty good. High power stones, force shards, and gems tickets eventually. But it really does add another layer to the game. And gives us something. I mean, again, it's the stuff that we've been doing, the TCC challenges, the community challenges. It's just now it's in game, and how freaking awesome is that? It's like somebody watches our show. So Mino, yeah, what are your thoughts? We'll get into the communities because that's our community question of the day. But what are your thoughts on Dare to Defy?
Okay, so just my personal thoughts to start off. I think this was the perfect content that we've kind of been asking for. The TCC community, first of all, as people were pointing out in chat, like a lot of people thought they directly stole Treevoid's idea because he's been doing cycle long lockouts for a while. And although I guess it would be kind of arrogant for us to think that they came in and stole Treevoid's idea, because lockouts for an entire month or something isn't like that outlandish of an idea that nobody else could think of it. We also know they spy on our community constantly. So this could swing either way, honestly. This could swing either way. But I feel like this addresses so many things the community has been asking for, and I'll like rattle them off really quickly, but we will get into what I've seen around the community regarding feedback on this. First of all, I love this. I want this to be a permanent feature. This and the ticket missions, please Squex, make that permanent going forward. This changes the game so much with minimal work. Like, you don't have to design new events, and we're saying, like, with lockouts and everything, like, people are examining characters differently. The meta was so stale before, and it was gonna be without this, because people were gonna like, well, I got my Cam Titus Kane, I'm skipping to Luna Freya, and then once I get Luna Freya, I'm skipping to Jack Garland, right? Like, everyone's
good
for the longest
good luck
time,
with that. Yeah,
for the longest time, people just said, why should I pull Y when X is a stronger version of them? That's been like the argument that's been plaguing the community for years. And should you pull and everything, like, why should I pull any FR that isn't Cam? Or once I have Tidus and Yang or Terra and Yang, why do I need to pull anything until for months? And people did that, right? Like, people legitimately did that. That's how we have like people with millions of gems, filthy fucking hoarders. Like, it's just disgusting. And the game is really stale if you approach it from that. So in the TCC community, we always did challenge runs to keep things interesting, right? We always did challenge runs. We fostered a community of people who like to engage with the game deeper. And when our challenges spread out to other servers, we get a lot of bad negative feedback, right? Because they're like, oh, this is for tryhards. Why even do challenge runs? Maybe if the game rewarded me, I'd do it, but I'm not going to do it just because. And guess what?
Guess
now
what,
bitches? Now the game is rewarding you for challenge runs. And, of course, BC and I'm sure RVK, we love to keep receipts and tabs on people who run their mouth in the community. And, of course, there are people, and I'm not going to say everyone is like this, but there are definitely people who said, I would do challenge runs if they gave rewards, and then these same people are mad that Dare to Defy gives rewards and refuses to do them. And, like, I don't know, it's fucking ridiculous. So I feel like this is minimal work on the devs' part to add an extra layer of depth to the game, right? Because lockouts do make you consider your roster, consider characters differently. As we were just saying with Lael, so many people are like, why should I pull Lael when I already have Selfie? And now having more than one launcher is beneficial. Like, this changes how people approach the game so much. People have already been shifting their pull plans for this. And then the rewards are kind of minuscule. I don't know if you see it. I think like if you finish the entire Dare to Defy, you get like 12 high power stones, which is enough to max an FR.
Yeah, they're
and and like enough pyramids to max a character or two.
Yeah, they're not game breaking, but they're not just 10 tickets. They're significant. They're high power stones and fragments and the things we would want from things, right? I mean, they're materials that we would want.
Like they're very minuscule. Hell, I thought ticket missions were very minuscule.
Yeah.
Because you get 10 tickets, and then 30 if you're paying. Yeah, like these are very skippable. People were really butt mad about the tickets, probably more so. Treevoid's still going to stand by his stance that there's a pay gate to it, and others will say 120 tickets can get you great results. It's all RNG though. But this is objectively like enough FRs to max a character, whereas if you want to skip it and just pull once every 6 months, you'll save more resources. Like,
yeah, right.
You're not you're not missing anything if you don't do this. So I'm not sure why people are so mad about
it. And that's always the case in a PvE game. I mean, this is not a PvP game where if you're not constantly pulling, upgrading, you're falling behind. This is a PvE game. So if you skip, and that's what I've always said with my various videos and tier list, if you're out of resources, skip a month and catch up, do what you can, and you'll get enough resources to start building up again. Yeah, you'll miss out on stuff, but again, the what you get back by putting in is usually not great. Like you said, the rewards are not overwhelmingly like, oh man, you have to beat this content. You can upgrade your characters with beating minimal content. Lufania Plus right now, or Lufania right now.
Right. Like I feel like the highest difficulty is always negligible, kind of, right? Like for Shinryu, you get 20. You get a pyramid, a force pyramid, all right, whatever. But you get 2 force pyramids for just maxing an FR, or choco boards and stuff. Like, you could legitimately never touch Shinryu and probably build up a healthy stack of FR characters over time. Like, it's just like a barely any bonus. And Dare to Defy is even less, which I think is good. I feel like it's generous of them to make the rewards minuscule, because then the temptation to do them should not be huge, but we'll get to that. But also, I feel like it's a reward for people who are regularly pulling, who are spending more resources, right? It's kind of like, hey, the guy who only pulled Cam as their only force weapon won't be able to do this, and that's okay. He could still do a fight or 2 or 3, get extra resources, but like your gooses who are pulling every fucking banner and it probably has 5 or 6 maxed FRs, here's a little bonus for you for investing so much, right? It's like a rebate or a discount coupon when you're shopping. Like, here's a little extra because you spent more.
It's your Kohl's cash.
Your Amazon reward points.
Your Amazon reward points.
Free Prime sub.
Yeah,
that you can throw to your free your favorite DeFo podcast.
Hey, yeah, use that. Use that free Prime sub. Yeah.
But right, like, and the most brilliant thing about this is all extra.
Yeah.
Like, the ticket missions and everything in Dare to Defy, this is all extra. They didn't reallocate resources. If you want to stick to the JP Foresight like an NPC and just play the game based on should you pulls and stuff, you can still do that. This won't fuck with your plans at all. You can still fucking do that. This is extra. Like, this shouldn't affect how you play the game at all if you're not going to do it, which is why I don't understand, like, the mountain of salt that we'll get to. But
is Starbucks stars a real thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You don't go to Starbucks?
Not enough, apparently, to take advantage of their reward program. Not at all. Interesting. Starbucks stars. Yeah, no, I think it's great. And again, like you said, that's a great point. They didn't reallocate resources. They didn't reallocate rewards. This is bonus to what JP got. This is kind of the course correction to Foresight, or this is kind of the bonus for veterans. What about the new player? Well, what about the veterans? Well, here's something that those of us who have all the LDs, who have a bunch of BT pluses, who, I'm sitting on all kinds of BT plus resources, and, I don't have Lightning BT plus, but why not? I'm not necessarily saving for anything at this point. I just have a whole bunch. So, right, why not? Why not upgrade if I get Gabranth tonight? Why not upgrade Gabranth and, use him? And again, then you're using more characters, you're having more fun, you're more invested in the game, because there's nothing less fun than not pulling for a month and not using any new characters and using the same three, in my opinion, using the same three characters over and over and over again for all the content, and then going about your business. Thank you, TSDX, using that Prime sub. Hey, 16 months now. Appreciate that. And we are at 54 of 100 for the Flugin. Flugin. And a Frugin campaign. But hey, a lot of tickets tonight. Yeah, we're going to be pulling tonight as well. So, keep it up. Well, let's go to our community. Every one of you who were gifted a sub, who are a sub on Twitch, who are a member or gifted a membership on YouTube. There are some memberships on YouTube. Log on YouTube and grab one. You get a chance if you link your Discord to either YouTuber or Prime or Twitch, that thing. You can get into a couple exclusive channels in our Discord, including our podcast supporter corner, where Photo Cedar, a TCC intern, asks you a question. The question this week is, what's your opinion of Dare to Defy? Sir Alex says, I really like it. The lockout mechanic is enough for me to enjoy the runs and pulls more than I was planning. Enjoying units I rarely use. Awesome. JD Terraforce, honestly, I'm going at my own pace. I treat global only events as bonus, so I'm not sweating it if I don't finish it. Regular events, on the other hand, I pressure myself to finish. Sussy Braska, who is that somebody else? Throwing a nice wrench into the Titus Cam sagas and a bone to the month one FR pullers was a move that didn't expect, but welcome. Definitely made my brain fire up and forced me to change my approach. Tree Void says, they took my job. We already talked about that. On a more serious note, I appreciate the devs for providing us with lockout content. I would have preferred we had unique fights similar to Gravas or Equinox, but this is probably much easier, takes less time to implement. On the dev side, a quality of life update, LD, hope. A quality of life update, I'd hope, that not LD, I'd hope they implement, if this continues past this month, is they make clearing the Dare to Defy version of a fight also clear the Shinryu and the ticket mission. I agree. So right now you have to do the Shinryu in the event to clear the ticket mission, and then you have to do the Dare to Defy, and those are separate things. You don't get to do that. So that could be a quality of event. Raw Life says it's good. Crush says, personally, I think this month, this is a month too early. The fights this month are not that stellar, with some overstumping that line of challenging but fair. I'm looking forward to doing tier 10 and Fujin twice. From a mechanical standpoint, these two ain't fun for me. The concept, though, I find personally would have preferred revamped future fights over copy-paste. Red Cane says, I think they should have made completing Dare to Defy Shinryu also complete normal. So we said, I love the idea of having more lockout content in the game. Wish it were permanent instead of time limited. Indolent Lard says Joshua was clearly a fan of the community-based challenges. Blind Eye says, some say it's too early and strict because of it, but I think it's a nice way to challenge ourselves with our roster. Little Frailer says, so far I think it's a great addition. It's completely optional, but provides much needed challenging lockout content. Rewards are decent, but not game-breaking, where it feels like you're missing out if you don't do them. Hope they continue to do this. Asian Tudix says, I love it. With lockout in mind, I have to be mindful of my DPS, force time, and save for saving Campbell not for the last stage. Final Asim says, Dare to Defy is probably the single best thing that ever happened to GL Defo. I'm not sure about that, but hey, that's your opinion. Going to be very fun doing 7 difficult fights with lockouts. They should keep it coming every month. Daniel says, not enough incentive to pull. If anything, it's making people see how far they can go without pulling on banners. Hey, that's another way to think of it. Bastro says, I think the format is great. Lockout content is always a good way to challenge yourself in the game. I played the game more this week than I normally do just to try out different team comps because it's fun. Thank you for all your subscriptions and submissions to that content. Well, let's move from that to go ahead.
I still want to talk about a little more.
Yeah, no,
I don't know
please.
if we have time.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm saying, so we said our piece, and honestly, I expected most of TCC to really agree. Like our community is, known as the quote unquote hardcore veteran community. And so, but I've been seeing elsewhere, and I'm not Josh, so I don't think I have my finger on the pulse of this community as closely as I used to, but I've seen mixed opinions all over the place, but it really does seem like more people that are online seem to dislike this concept more than support it as we do. And I always like to represent both sides on the podcast, no matter how much I personally disagree. Like, Tree Void's Ticket Gate. This is worse. I think I disagree with this worse. But I didn't want to straw man it, right? Like, I don't want an imaginary opponent. So I tried to take as many quotes as possible. And I try to invite anyone in chat. If you don't like Dare to Defy, please speak up as to why, so we can address specific points. I have a lot to say, and I have assumptions to be made. But I had this conversation with Quetzalma, designer of
Materiabot.
Materiabot, thank you. I said Defobot. And he's very against it, but I know he's a very different type of player than we are. But he was able to voice his points eloquently, and so I'm just saying, like, I'd like to represent his side at least, or at least the side of players who don't like it. For one, he says that it feels like this is the most Defo has ever capitalized on the FOMO of players.
Okay.
I think we discussed this around. I mean, I don't think I can deny that, but as Tree Void said, everyone has their own line, right? Like, to me, a business or a gacha doing this is not a deal breaker to me. It's almost expected. But he's saying, like, this feels predatory because it very much capitalizes on the FOMO. And he personally, and we've had people in our own Discord say it as well, saying, like, hey, I'm an endgame player. I am used to being able to stomp through Shinryus, and all of a sudden there's a set of Shinryu missions I can't do. It's that's a lot of cognitive dissonance. I don't agree with this at all. I don't feel like you should be entitled to beat.
No.
I don't feel like you should be entitled to beat Shinryu, but apparently some people have legitimately said, like, this is bad cognitive dissonance to, it's like, oh, hey, I collected and studied how to beat these Shinryu fights, and now they're doing lockouts to try to deny me of my strongest tools to kind of artificially make it so I can't beat it. I don't view it like that at all, but that is an argument being made.
Well, yeah. I mean, just to focus on that argument a little bit. I mean, that's part of that's some human condition stuff, but that's also life stuff. So, like, in pretty much anything we do, we get comfortable at the pace we do things, and then someone challenges that, and we don't like it, but we have to either adapt or die. So, I mean, if you were doing any sport, right? Like, I mean, I'm going to a baseball game here in a couple days, and, pitchers get used to a certain style, and then batters figure it out and start hitting really good, and then pitchers adjust, and then batters have to, and that's how baseball goes. Like, there's this constant, like, push and pull, and what happens is everybody's game kind of ups ideally. But I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird to expect that. I've been doing this the same way and it seems like maybe, like, that's not true in the life of the game, right? Because every era change, every difficulty change. Like I've been doing chaos, but hey, now there's Lufania. Now I've been doing Lufania, fine, but now there's Shinryu. Like, I mean, that's kind of part of the game. The game gets more difficult as you play it, right?
Yeah, and okay, and so chat's also starting to rattle reasons off, and a lot of these line up with what Quetzalcoatl is saying too. So I'll take his thing out of order.
Yeah.
But basically, the most common complaint right now is something that you read earlier as well. A lot of people feel like this came too early. They're saying
Oh.
the requirements are too strict. They said by the end of this, we should have 13 FRs, and the game probably expects you to have 7 of those built, which doesn't seem reasonable. Paraphrasing Lion, but he's getting a lot of agreement there. I know Quetzalma agreed on that part too. Like, I know Quetzalma said, like, oh, I would not have minded this event if it came a month or two later, but it feels too early. Feels too early, you read. And feels too early, chat is saying. I'm not sure how much I agree with this. I'll throw it back to you because already people are doing, like, the crazy,
Without
crazy
FRs.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the crazy people like Scott Ong and Excalibur and the challenge runners. They've done multiple runs of each of the available fights without FRs. Multiple. Like, I'm not sure if people just don't want to try it yet, but definitely it's opened my eyes to how viable some of these late Lufania Plus characters are. Like I said, Leo has been an MVP. Prish has been MVP coming back. Shulk, there's a good number of Shulk uses here. Realm, Edge, like people are pulling these characters that were left for dead in the JP version as soon as FRs dropped. Like, people were always like, don't pull any of these characters in these last 2 fucking months because FRs are coming and they're going to be fucking useless. And it's just amazing how this tiny change makes people appreciate these characters. Like I said, I revisited Leo and be like, holy shit, his LD effect is actually amazing. We didn't even think about it in this context because we weren't expecting to use him anymore. And but the too early thing, people are saying, oh, you need 7 FRs. I don't know if that's true. I know we're going to have 2 easy fights guaranteed. We're going to have the Ursula fight was very easy if you have attempted it yet, and the Reno fight is supposed to be easy. LCs are always easy now because they're just copy paste of garbage time fights.
No, right.
Which we'll get to. And then like but I really think 7 FRs is stretching it. Will 7 FRs make it easier? Sure. But if this is end game content,
well, and again, you have another
you
have another 2 weeks after the last event of the Charlotta cycle to finish this, which means you'll have other opportunities. Like you'll have Luna Freya, and you'll have other things even beyond this month, because this is until the 8th, right? Or 7th of September.
Yeah, this is 7 fights, and it should bleed into Luna Freya's first banner, I believe.
Yeah, so I mean, we got more than 12, but again, do you really need it? I hear that. I guess I hear that. This does seem early. I guess my counterpoint to that is based on what? Like, because you didn't want to pull this month? Like, so
right. And there's a back and forth going on in chat, right? Like and some others are saying like, well, if you don't go with FR, it's going to be a 40-minute fight, and that's not fun. And then people are saying, well, you could do this and this. They're saying like more and more units become synergy retroactively, which is true,
Yin,
right?
To be fair to Yin's quote, Yin said 40-minute fight after the regular fight I have to do and the co-op shop. Listen, without this, no, but come on, without this, you're Cam Titusing the fight in 10 minutes.
That's true.
And you do like, oh, come on. Do you even clear the co-op? Nobody clears. Why are you clearing the co-op shop? What do you got? What do you got to get? You're not spending without this. You're spending 10 minutes a day on the freaking game.
This is self-inflicted pain. All right. This is self-inflicted pain because, like we said, yes, you can just Cam Titus the events, and most people do Cam Titus the regular events, and that takes like 10 minutes or less. So let's not add that to the time. And then for the co-op shops, It's already mathematically proven. You don't need these crystals.
You don't
Why
need
the
these
fuck
crystals.
are you farming these crystals? You don't need them. You really don't. Like, what are you gonna do with these? Just to hoard crystals?
Yeah, you
because
go.
that's a whole other problem.
Yeah,
That's a whole other fucking
you
problem.
literally do 15 minutes of co-op once, and you're done. That's it. You run 1 3 times book once. You do 5 co-ops. You're done.
Yeah, so if anything, I would say this is the real meat of the game if you should choose to do it. And once again, it is optional. And you're losing nothing by not doing this. Even if you only want to do 2 of the 7, that's a net gain. But right, no, like I do respect what In's saying, but I will say that I don't think co-op and regular event run should be added onto that time. Sure, 40-minute run for Dare to Defy? Sure. That's a fair statement. The others, nah, not even half that time, probably. Because you could probably run 2 or 3 co-ops and get everything that's not crystal in the shop.
Yeah.
And but sorry, back to you about that, Mark.
No, I just I think if they introduce something like this, they'd never introduce it. It would never be early or it would never be on time. It would always be too early. Like somebody would always have that argument, right? Like, oh, if this should have been at the very last before the next era, like when we have all of our characters. But
and this ties into what Quetz's next point was, which I know Tree Void agrees with, and I'm sure people will agree with too, on the factor of like, oh, it's too early. They're saying like, okay, well, most people are saying if this was a month or 2 later, fine. But they're saying what also would have been fine if this was permanent, like an Abyss. If this was a permanent addition, people could slowly build their roster up and come back to. Because otherwise, the pressure to pull seems too overwhelming. And so that's the statement. This does not cross my line. This just does not cross my line. I can't hate a business for trying to make money and incentivize pulls, especially because once again, guys, extra resources. Not like we need this to get all the resources coming to us. This is extra resources. So it's really hard for me to agree with this statement.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, the money, the thing that you would buy, the gotcha is gems or tickets. And where do we get all of our gems and tickets? In divine boards or just regular content. So there's 5,000 gems and like 20 tickets on this Dare to Defy. So again, like you said, you're talking about enough high power stones to fully upgrade 1 FR and enough force crystals to fully upgrade 1 character, maybe 2. Very limited. I mean, again, it's nice, it's something, but it's not like, oh man, if I don't do this, because a while ago we were complaining that there's not enough modes in this game. We have a permanent Abyss. We have a permanent Tower, Dimensions End. Like we have that permanent content. We have story chapters. We have lost chapters. We have intersecting wills. We have 6-man. We have all kinds of permanent content. One of the things obviously Tree Void's Tower kind of thing, but we had talked about a ongoing or a lockout thing. We had been talking about a monthly Tower event because there were other games, pretty much any other game that's gotcha PvE or PvP. I mean, there's a monthly or weekly or seasonal Tower event. And so, I mean, this kind of fills that void. It is limited. But yeah, I mean, I get it. I get the predatory nature. I feel like I know that coming into it because I also play ridiculously predatory gotcha games.
Right.
So
and that's actually a great segue, Mark, into his final point. And this is a point that I've heard a lot and I just cannot agree with, but this is a statement, is that if any other gotcha did this, I would not bat an eye. But because it's defo, I expect better, and it feels more like a betrayal. And Tree Void, I had a chat with Tree Void. Tree Void's very, he's a bleeding heart. He's very sympathetic, and he's like, everyone is entitled to feel the way they do and give the feedback. Like, if this is too much of a line, like if someone's a longtime customer to a business and the business changes up its tactics, they're allowed to have a negative reaction to that. That's fair. That's the most generous interpretation of it. But I also feel like that's kind of a double standard. And also, right, comparatively, I guess if you want to compare it to gotchas across the board, this is still not that bad. Generous even, still.
No,
But
again, I mean, the resources that you need to pull the characters, to pull the weapons, are still given to us over generously. I mean, it's just it's just man, it's you know, and we've said this before, and I get where Quetz is coming from. It I don't have that kind of sense of fear of missing out. I understand where people see that. For me, like, I don't have a fear of missing out. Like, I do, because this is the game I play and I do a podcast for it. So of course I beat the content. But like in other games I play, like I don't have a fear of missing out. Unless there's like like when it's a PvP kind of thing. And so if PvP's involved, then I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm number one. I got to stay number one. Like that's like the competitive part of that gets me. And so I don't come, like I'm saying, some people probably do. I don't have that kind of predisposition to say like, oh man, I got to beat this and I got to spend to beat this. I've never felt like that in any game I've played. That's a PvE game. Like I've never felt like I gotta do that, but I understand some people may feel that,
right,
and for them that
you. I agree.
feels predatory. But I also know what we've said from day one: Squex is not your friend. They're a business; they're trying to make money, right?
Yeah, I'll read Mr. Skibbs made a new account just to come chat. Hello, I played at launch. I just made a new account. I would like to say that anyone who thinks they should be able to beat every content with the same 3 units is playing the wrong game. That being said, a beginner account perspective, lockouts are a pain in the butt, and Shinryu seems untouchable for now, but that is fair. Also, yes, I quit because the content was thin back then and way too easy. I'm happy to see these changes that might stick around this time. This game is grossly generous if it isn't on its deathbed and making new interesting content. No, yeah, if it isn't on its deathbed and is making new interesting content, that's a win. And when to close this chapter out, right, like ultimately there's some grumbling, and to risk hitting a straw man, I feel like a lot of the grumbling are from people who aren't spending anyways, or who want the path of least resistance, or it's basically just the FOMO striking, right? Because once again, I don't think you have to touch this, and I've definitely seen more than once someone say, well, I'm used to clearing all the content, it feels bad not to, right? And like you said, I don't get that badly. I probably get it in some games, Mark, but yeah, not so badly to ever spend money to do it. I have IRL friends like Hitmonchan and the other new ones that I've been advising, who they literally, most of them don't touch the highest content, and they have fun with the game, just playing like one difficulty level below and collecting and building characters. It's very possible to do this. I even, I talked to what Quet said, because I was like, most of us who play other games don't expect to beat the highest difficulty, and it doesn't bother us. And Quet said, yes, true. I play FF14. I don't do Savage or Ultimate raids, and I don't care about those at all. But he said in Defo he's used to being able to do everything, which again I disagree with. But as we said, these are valid feelings. Everyone works a little differently. So that is the argument out there. And I have seen a lot of grumbling in our online community. Again, our online community is not indicative of the entire player base, because you have to be hardcore enough to come on to Discord and Reddit to write paragraphs and bitch about it. And then like we know that TCC is an even smaller subset of that, because we like challenges and we're in the minority, probably. So I do want to see how this shakes out. To close it out, basically, I think this is healthier for the game overall. I think it makes us look favorably at more characters. I really, really do think that, as we're going to touch on the next characters coming up and etc. I really think, as many people were saying in chat while we were ranting, that it makes you think about your resources and investments more, makes you really consider each character more, makes you really think about how you play the game more. I feel like this is such a tiny thing. People are saying, "Oh, well, I wish it wasn't the same fights." Right? Or, "Oh, I wish you could knock it out in one go." Well, I'm not a programmer and I don't work for Squex, but I imagine that this method is much easier to maintain, right? To just make a separate lockout for the same events. Um, and it's easier to. Hmm. Fuck, I lost my train of thought here, Mark. It's easier to maintain, and
Yeah.
I think I'd be running the fights twice anyways for the ticket mission
Yeah.
and this. Yeah. So like I don't know. I feel like it's not bad. I feel like this is what a lot of people have been asking for, and these same people don't seem to like it. Like you said, that monthly tower challenge, so many people have been asking for that, including Ink.
Yeah. No,
You
that
know,
was a big
he
thing
did
for
that
him. Yeah, that
very
was a
long
big
ago.
thing for him. Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted and then we always talked about like lockouts. We always talked about like towers. This is the tower. This is your monthly tower. This is legit how towers work in other games.
Yeah.
It's lockout.
100%.
Like,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I don't
that's
know.
exactly
Yeah,
what
but
it is. Yeah.
I I feel, and not only all of the things I said, but I feel like it's just a financially smart move for Defo, and I'm good for that. If this makes Defo more money, I'm in full support of that, because as we've been saying over the months, Defo's profits were actually going down. In JP, they shot up this month. Let's see if that keeps going, because they started releasing 4 BTs a month, and that's really been helping their sales. I am hoping this helps GL as well, because GL makes less than JP because we hoard, because we have the foresight, and people pull even less than they do in JP. If this makes Devo more money, good. I would like Devo to live longer,
Yeah.
guys.
Right.
I don't want to fucking hoard and kill the game. And then you guys are bitching about, like, this is such optional content. This is so optional. I feel I don't want to lose my cool and call people names who are mad that they can't do optional content, but that is how I am feeling right now. And before I pass it on to Mark, I just hope that the numbers will speak for themselves. I hope
Yeah.
that despite whatever conversations happening, Josh and his colleagues are gathering the correct amount of data, and I hope the sales numbers and the metrics prove them wrong, because I know I've been spending more time in the game. Others who enjoy these challenges have been spending more time in the game. We're more engaged, and I really hope that this makes Defo more money.
Yeah.
But back to you, Mark.
No, I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, it's do something different or die, because unfortunately GL has the foresight, and that means people hoard, people pull, people have beaten the system, so to speak, when it comes to gacha. And if that's your money and there's only so many new costumes they can program, you got to make the Moogle Pass more exciting, and you have to make pulling more exciting, and that's what, or more alluring, and that's what they've done.
Imagine being rewarded for pulling
And that's
more,
and
right?
and
Like,
again not victim blaming or anything else, but the big warning is, if you get involved in a game like this, in a gotcha game, you have to be able to handle it. Like, you have to be able to have the self-control to say, no, I'm not going to spend this money, or this is what I'm going to spend, and if I can't do it, I can't do it. And I know that can be frustrating, but like, you don't walk into the boat and say, I hope it all works out well, right? Like, if you can be that person, hey, I'm going to the boat, I got $100. When I lose it, I'm done. But if you're the person that's going to go to the ATM and keep pulling out the money, you should not be there. Like, you got to know that of yourself. So
that's a good point.
and again,
yeah.
that's not victim blaming, but I mean, you just got to know yourself in these games. Again, I don't think we're so used to Defo being so generous and not, but at the end of the day, it's still a gotcha, and they're still a business, and they're not your friends. So
Right. Don't step into the casino if you have a gambling problem, and don't step into the bar if you have a drinking problem. But to steal Mark's line, not trying to victim blame, but there is a level of accountability in there somewhere. I think we talked about this before, addicts and accountability.
Yeah.
And oh shit, there's one more thing in chat I want to address before we got off this. Let me see if I don't agree. If I lost it here. Just pull everything. This makes right. I don't know. At the end, it's just you're rewarded more for pulling, and that's how a gacha should be. And I don't know. I
Yeah,
got nothing.
yeah. Lion says people like to meme on Babylon's Fall for being a failed game or Avengers. This is for Defoe's future. So yeah, you can like, haha, Babylon's Fall sucked or Avengers sucked. Well, if the game doesn't make money, then the game's dead. And we've been playing this game for a long time, and we like it. We'd like to continue to play it. I think it's still one of the greatest games that, certainly I've played. And so unfortunately, yeah. So yeah, everybody on YouTube, make sure you check out your nude bot girls online responsibly. We got spammed with some porn bot there, so be responsible when you click suspicious links in YouTube chat. But enjoy that. So as you enjoy responsibly. Very responsibly.
And Squex, please make this a regular thing.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I hope that's where it's going, because our ticket missions are now a permanent thing in JP. So I'm hoping, please, Squex, if you were beta testing this in GL, please make the ticket thing permanent starting now, moving forward, all events, and please make Dare to Defy a permanent thing. If this is a beta test, please bring it back, because I promise you, I will pull a lot less. Without these lockouts, I will pull a lot less. I'm pretty sure Mark was probably going to skip this entire fucking month.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I was only looking at 1 or 2 weapons, but
pretty
now
much.
Everything looks great now.
Yeah.
So, if you want to get rid of Horde, I will be so much more engaged in the game. I'll be so much nicer. I'll stop cursing your name, Josh. Make Dare to Defy and the ticket missions permanent. All right.
Yeah. No, I'd like both of these things to become permanent staples of the game, and then get those co-op tickets available to us, so we don't have to do co-op anymore. Less co-op, more stuff like this. I think that's what we want. Hey, there's a lost chapter. Yeah, we still have those. You may have forgotten that lost chapters are a thing in this game, and the lost chapter that we have now is Gentle Fisting. It is Ursula's lost chapter. And we got Sync, got her C90, and that's something. So if you like Sync and you haven't been using her for a while, she got a little rework in a C90, and you can equip if she got that special weapon. She's a melee attacker, delayer, debuffer, and she delays herself, which sucks. So anything like we both used Sync a little bit when she came out. There were some ways to manipulate so she wasn't so bad. You could try to bring turn warpers with her. She may pair well with Ursula, just with the warp mechanics. But any thoughts on Syncy?
Yeah, I always disagreed slightly that the self-delay was terrible.
Right.
I feel like there's 2 ways you can play it, and now that the roster's gotten bigger since her debut, she's only gotten more options.
More people.
I will defend Sync. You guys can call it copium if you want, but I feel like you can run her either in a turn manipulation team. And I was asking Indo yesterday for some ideas of recent turn manipulators coming up, because right now I've already forgotten all of his fucking answers. I know. Oh, Rem and Luna Freya are very soon.
Yep.
Within the next month, and Luna Freya is very, very strong. Everyone wants her. Rem exists. And where's Indo when I need him? What were the fucking others? Anyways, there's a couple of turn manipulators recently that can really make Sync, cancel out her self-delay and her speed. So that's one option to go. And the second option is we're going to get Reno FR soon. And you know what Reno FR does, Mark?
Yeah.
Huge bonus every time the enemy goes.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good pairing too coming up.
Yeah, off player turns. And we're gonna start having people who don't want to take turns, like Gladio.
Yeah.
And Reno, and then we got our counter tanks. So I feel like she could work in either of those teams quite well. And let's never forget her utility of, I guess constant delays. I don't know how impressive her debuffs and stuff are, but
not great. Yeah, she has that special. She's got that special debuff. Wow. Why can't I think of what that special debuff does? Stun. Yeah, stun. Yeah. Yeah, the big defense down, and see ya. That's the one I was thinking of. The big defense down. Yeah. Damage taken up.
Wait,
Yeah.
why won't they ever give Sync enough damage to justify her downside? Zamboni Driver says. Potentially viable if you're a good player isn't the same as on par with other damage dealers. Uh, yeah, well, I feel like some characters have so much utility, you're like, oh man, if they get to do damage too, that's great. I feel like Sync's damage is quite good, and it's the opposite end of, oh, and she has some utility too, that's great. Like, I'll bring her for the damage, and if she's delaying and bringing defense down and stuff and doing the follow-ups, that's
I mean, with her
great.
follow-ups, I mean, you gotta, her skill 1 and skill 2 aren't doing terrible, great damage, but EX and LD, and then the follow-up is adding to the damage. So with the follow-up, it's not bad damage.
Yeah, and multiracial alliance countering, saying, Sync's damage is quite good. She has 10 dumps on her EX,
Yeah.
6 dump. Like these are good numbers.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And once again, Zamboni Driver to drive it home. It's not about there are other characters who can do more damage. It's about, hey, we need 7 teams now.
Yeah, we need 21 Shinryu viable characters.
Theoretically, you need 21 Shinryu viable characters.
You only got one Tidus and one Machina.
Theoretically. So. And Sync is a great pickup in that
gotta
case.
figure out something. And she's special weapon user. Again, I think you gotta start thinking about
the ultimate weapons.
You got to start thinking about your ultimate weapons, because you can maximize your Dare to Defy if you can prioritize, because you can use ultimate weapons over and over again. And so, right, those high demand ultimate weapons like special, Sync uses special. So, you're probably already working on that if you don't already have one of those in your toolbox. So, yeah. Yeah, Excalibur says abusing ultimate weapons is one key tip in Dare to Defy. So D2D.
Yeah, and viable is no longer a dirty word.
Yeah,
the fact that she can work with multiple team comps is the strongest one, because if this is going to be a regular thing and you are fielding 7 FRs, you want someone who can potentially work with multiple FRs.
Yeah,
so you can throw them around in different teams.
Well, Ursula also comes back, but she gets an FR weapon. If you don't remember Ursula because you didn't ever pull for her originally, you missed out, because she's a fun little character. She does melee attacks. She gets free turn. She warps. If a party member's turn is after the enemies, she warps in front and gets an extra turn. She does free turns, instant turns. She does some Brave batteries, so some support. She has the Max Brave floor ability, so your party never drops below 20% Max Brave, which is awesome. And she gets a big fat FR weapon. Real easy conditions. The first condition is active members' current Brave is equal to or more than 20%, which, as long as Ursula's in your party, you're going to hit that without a problem, as long as her LD buff is active, right? Is that the LD buff? Yeah, LD buff, and that should be active the entire time, because it's 36 turns. And I think she extends her buffs. Yeah, so with her one skill. So yeah, shouldn't be an issue. And then it further increases if it is greater to or equal to 100% of Embrave. And again, her chakra ability does make sure everybody's Embrave is maxed out. And there's plenty of other characters that do that. Also, Brave Refund and all that kind of stuff can use that. So I don't think it's the best FR, but I do think it's pretty good and pretty easy to hit. So you probably have a little bit more experience, since I haven't pulled yet, with how that looks. But I think I remember using her before and kind of liking how she played. And so again, as we're now in this, hey, I got to get some characters off the bench, and I got to bring her to this stupid ticket mission. She seems like she might be a nice addition, who does a couple of different things. Unfortunately, in the ultimate weapon department, she is a fist, which we probably don't have, but Tifa is coming. And so I think a lot of people are probably thinking fist in the future anyway. So shout out to fist users. Mina, what are your thoughts on Ursula?
Before Dare to Defy was a thing, this was probably going to be a skip for me.
Yeah.
Very tough, but she didn't make the cut. Now that I want more than 2 FRs in my arsenal, Dare to Defy literally made me reevaluate and pull for Ursula, because, as you said, and as many say, very easy, very versatile FR condition. Amazingly easy FR condition for how specific some of the things we've seen are. she can have everyone fulfill it just by the Brave floor. First of all, is amazing.
Yeah.
The set Brave to max is amazing because we talk about how high Brave gain reductions can be in Shinryu. So ignoring that and setting Brave to max is amazing.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, she has instant turn moves, which are good for charging and manipulating off-turn damage. She just does a lot. She like the numbers are great. She works with literally almost anybody. And as people have rediscovered having fun with this fight, you can start throwing your 2 dragoons in the air and just spamming instant attacks and doing like millions of damage. Or any other kind of off-turn shenanigans you want with like Core, Garnet, people are bringing the off-turns back. I feel like she brings a lot. And now that, once again, we need more options, very, very good niche filler that nobody else around her can do.
Yeah, so pull everybody. You can check out TonberryTroupe.com for Ursula's and Sync's infographics. If we go to the podcast polls, again, submit your podcast poll. On 7 servers, only 1 person pitying the BTN because they all pitied it on the other one. 10 people pitying her FR, so a lot of people skipping, and 83 tickets, but a lot of people throwing tickets. So again, make sure that you check out those podcast polls and let us know what you're doing. This fight a little easier. The Killing Scissors. Their big attack is recover from break, AoE, brave plus HP damage, delays all targets. When you use a melee FR and inner force time, that does pause theirs as well. As their FR gauge increases, they cap player brave. And then they resist damage. But so at 80% of their FR gauge, the player, you, are capped 50% of your brave. I assume Ursula's ability is able to overcome that, correct? If she sets your brave to max brave, that overcomes that force gauge issue.
Yes,
yeah.
Correct.
So that's why this is a thing. As you're thinking, why the hell is this a thing? Well, that's why, because Ursula does that. Their triggered attack inflicts break on the party, then they recover from break, brave gain, and do a big AoE HP damage. That's a guaranteed hit. And they can do some nasty things, including paralysis in their force time. The nice thing about this fight is there's only 2 HP triggers. One is at 79% and one is at 29%. And at both 79% and 29%, they trigger Bubble Breath. And that sets player brave to 0, inflicts 3 turns, turn rate down. So it's not the worst thing. So you can kind of speed through this, and that does trigger even during BT or summon. So if you are in a burst phase and you get past 79%, you will be set to 0 brave and be inflicted with turn rate down. But that's really it. So not a lot of mechanics because this is a old stinky Lost Chapter fight. So. I assume as Nude HD Best Adult Dating Site spams our chat, and I'll take care of that. I'll assume this is a much easier fight, Mino. So I'll shoot that to you.
It's a joke of a fight. This is what happens. LCs are dead content. That's why I'm so glad JP got rid of LCs. But like we're getting our, after being out of garbage time for a while and seeing Shinryu fights, we're getting our first garbage time fight brought back. They have like 3 fucking attacks that don't do anything, and hilariously enough, as people have been saying, when they're in their FR time, they only do their ability plus move. I forget what it is, Bubble Breath or something plus. Bubble Breath plus has no HP damage.
Right.
Yet and that's the only move they use in their force time, and their force time amplifies their HP damage done. So I have no idea why they don't benefit from their force time whatsoever, and it's almost preferable for them to be in there. They have like 2 fucking attacks. They have that, the normal version that's a Brave Plus, and who the fuck else knows. They're not a threat at all. The only thing that people hit a roadblock on is their defenses spike under 30%. So that's just something to watch out for if you need to lower defense or just battery through it or whatever you need to do.
But isn't that okay? Because we need to do 7 of these Shinryu, so it's nice to have an easier one, isn't it?
Yeah, but let's say you're not a Dare to Defy player. This is a look at how badly Garbage Time was designed. I wonder if there's still people out there who say that Garbage Time is the best state of the game, because when you play this fight, Mark, I don't know, you'll see it's a startling difference
Yeah.
between the current fights and what they used to be.
Yeah.
Holy shit, these are bad.
Tree Void says there are people that say that. Yeah. So yeah, if you're looking, Excalibur's got a great infographic. Destroth probably has one on the way. Scott Ong on his YouTube. Information content on our Discord or help, and we have our own thread. Plenty of different runs. Tons of people who have great runs. We also have a Dare to Defy thread on our Discord as well, giving you some ideas there. So plenty of different help there.
Once again,
yeah.
I shamelessly stole Lord Touch Me's team. Thank you, Lord Touch Me, for refining my team. Realm Edge Porum. 3 of some of the
Oh, nice.
the oldest, crappiest characters I can think of. But such appreciation for these characters I'd probably never use otherwise. So shout out to Lord Touch Me for refining and perfecting my team idea.
Cool.
So I stole from him. Thank you.
Well, let's go to podcast questions, and if you have any questions, feel free to shoot us a super chat or a sub, and we'll write your question in there, and we'll be happy to answer it on air. But Be Lucky asks, with the high level of HP and damage into the millions, soon to be into the hundreds of millions, would it make sense at some point for Squex to incorporate decimal place reduction to HP damage due to screen spacing? I thought that they would include this reduction into a chapter where they aren't chapter world where they aren't as powerful as before. So that's a more of a heads up kind of change he's asking about, or just doing the damage. I'm not quite sure what the question is asking. You know, do you get a sense of that?
Yeah, he's saying, so instead of having like 12 digits on your screen, why hasn't Defo shortened it to like 12 mil?
Yeah.
You know, MIL or 12M or whatever. And so thoughts on that, basically.
Yeah.
And I think we might have talked about this before. I would personally love it. I think it'd be great to reduce screen clutter, but I also know that every time I've seen this done, the devs face backlash, because
big numbers.
along with people not being able to comprehend the passage of time or read, they also don't understand numbers. So when they see less digits on the screen, people freak out. And if you think I'm kidding, if you ever go and Google like World of Warcraft number squish or Final Fantasy 14 number squish, you will find so many forum posts of people being fucking mad that their numbers were taken away. Like legitimately upset. And the devs all know, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Too, right? I remember the Yu-Gi-Oh! Creator said, we wanted to be like Magic, but we also added more digits, you know, like 3 zeros, just because, why not, right? To make people feel better about the cards. I guess it works. Honestly, I guess there are enough monkey brains out there where seeing more digits really makes people happy and triggers that serotonin. That's just a fact.
Yeah, play the Dragon Ball Z super card game, because there's a lot of numbers in that game. It's even like just numbers coming off the cards. It's so bad. No. But yeah, it's in the tens of thousands. Everything's in the tens of thousands, as it should be. So yeah, hey, I certainly don't mind number change. I think both you and I have talked about the having a little bit more of data after the fight, like having some numbers and how much damage did this character do, how much damage did that character do, that kind of information would be super helpful. But so it goes. K9 Word says, thoughts on the updated Defy quest that has logout similar to D. Would you like to see more of this in the future? Second, how do you think the boosted retro will work? Do you think you'll be able to overkill it more interesting way to team build? So I think we've already said our thoughts on this content. We both really like it. But how do you think the boosted retro will work? So if you go in to Dare to Defy, they keep adding boosted characters. Is that how I understand it?
Yeah, so every time an event, so yeah, if you go into Dare Defy right now and you sort by boosted, you'll see that number slowly increase every event if you want to do a visual representation of that. And as for the answer to the question, I think both. I think synergy characters will make some crappy characters pretty viable. I can't picture using characters like Root or Pain in these fights just yet. Maybe someone much smarter will pull it off, but like having Caius come back later as synergy, etc., like you can get a lot. Yeah, see, like it's a big pool, and that's only 2 events, right? And we're gonna get 7 events worth of synergy characters. I think it'll really facilitate more creative team building and just make it an easier time for people having more synergy characters.
Yeah. Yeah, it will be interesting to see. Yeah, then how how I would assume it will be the synergy for those 7 events. And you won't get any synergy after that. So all right, that's it, Mino. So do you have anything else before we switch to post show and do some polls?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, great stuff. Hey man, thank you all for being here. Liz, hey, shout out to Liz. Thank you all. Shout out to Liz. Liz does wow, Liz does the things, the timestamps. That's the word I was looking for us. So shout out to Liz7. It's on YouTube. Does the timestamps for us on YouTube for just the goodness of their heart. So really do appreciate that. So yeah, episode 1000 hype. We should just change it. We should just switch, like just like in a couple months. We'll just add a 0. Episode 2050. Good job, everybody. Yeah, just it's because people like big numbers. But stay tuned. If you're live with us now, stay tuned. We'll do some polls because you made me poll. So I got almost 300 tickets I got to use. So hang out. If not, thank you all for listening. If you're on the podcast app, if you're watching Twitch video on demand, YouTube video on demand, thank you all. We do appreciate and love all of you. So great to be part of this community. Join our Discord if you're not. We do appreciate all your support. Check out our friends at Manscaped, TCC Pop for 20% off your order. And we will see you hopefully next week with some surprise events and also Fujin. So until then, friends, goodbye. All right. Well, we can shoot down to the post show channel if anybody else wants to join us. We are in the post show channel. Can I jump that in there? No. But we do have some polls before anything else. Let me do something here. And what that is let me make the podcast. Let me make a podcast real quick because I'm not going to be able to do that for a little while. So what was this, episode 202? Yeah. Oh no, now it's going to let me watch episode 202. Let me convert episode 202 to podcast form. That's what I want to do, and then I will do some polls. Let's turn on a little bit of music. Yeah, there we go. And if you did not catch earlier in the show, we are doing a sub-campaign to make me pull and fully use Fujin until the end of that banner. So we're all over halfway there, 54 of 100 subs, and we reach 100 subs, YouTube memberships, etc. Will completely upgrade Fujin, use Fujin. It's going to be a lot of fun. But we did get 24 subs tonight, which means I got 240 tickets to use, friends. So let's start with the Gabranth banner, because I don't have either Gabranth or... Oh, well, yeah, no, I don't want to do a poll. So let's start with the Gabranth banner, and then I'll switch to Ursula if I get Gabranth's BT. So where's Gabranth's banner? Here it is. I have everything else. I have Lael's LD. All right, I got 999 tickets. That shouldn't surprise anybody. Red comment waiting room. Did you pick up both these, Gabranth and
Yeah, I'm on a bit of a lucky streak.
Nice.
Fortunately or unfortunately, I'm definitely feeling it in my other resources, like the power stones and the pyramids.
Yes.
I think I'm down to 400 power stones. I started the era with like 1,300.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
I gotta stop. I gotta stop. Like, but I want Reno,
Yep.
and if tomorrow is Terra, I want Terra.
Yeah. Yeah. So
this is like a big poll month. It's a big poll month.
yeah. So people are definitely thinking Terra is tomorrow. I don't even remember what her. I don't even.
Tree Void, you fucking wouldn't even sell your LDs, and you're telling me to sell my FRs. I'm pretty sure Tree Void was one of those people that hoarded their fucking maxed LDs. I know Mark was one of those people.
Yep.
I know there were a lot of those fucking people. So I'm pretty sure Tree Void hoarded his LDs. Now he's telling me to sell fucking FRs. Get out of here.
Yeah, I forget you can sell FRs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I forgot where this originated, but it's been discussed this week. That people are saying that the FR weapon stat bonuses aren't that much bigger than EX pluses. So people are selling their FR weapons for extra high power stones and just eating a smaller stat boost.
Oh, okay, I can see that. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily sell FRs or characters that don't have BTs, but whatever. Yeah, I could see that. If you're desperate for it. If you're desperate enough, why not sell stupid characters? Why not sell Desh's FR? Like who cares, right? Especially for characters that aren't doing damage. And if you have an ultimate weapon, you're not using it either, right? So, sorry, I'm doing two things at once, but I should be done here in a second. Yeah, so far nothing. What are we? We're not even at 50 tickets yet. Come on, tickets. What are we pulling for, Gabranth?
Yeah.
What are we
I
pulling
threw
for,
300 at the LD.
Okay.
I wanted the LD. That's my new goal, right?
Yeah, I have all the LDs, I believe.
Really, I'm missing 4. They're all Type 0 characters.
Oh, I don't have all the LDs, but I have all the LDs on these banners. I mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to collect all the LDs, so I gun for Gabranth.
Yeah.
300 tickets to get his LD, but I picked up his FR and BT on the way, so I got 2 lucky. And then Odin boards happened, and I'm capped on tickets, so now I'm just throwing tickets at every fucking banner, and Ursula came in 100, so now I'm still, like, close to cap again. I guess I'm pulling for weapons I don't care about. Who's next? Oh, it's the surprise character, right? So I'll probably be throwing tickets at that,
Indolent Lard says, there's a very small possibility that maybe we get a new FR that isn't from the JP schedule. Which characters do the hosts wish to get from this context? Fandaniel is my new favorite character from Final Fantasy XIV. So my hope is Fandaniel FR, and Fandaniel can be partnered with I was going to say somebody because they're over dramatic. Who's over dramatic? Kefka, yeah. Well, yeah, they're chaotic. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, hey, Pain LD. I already have it. Pretty sure. Another gold orb. Woohoo! Gold orb. Gold orb high. Ethel from Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Oh. Whoa, good. Xenoblade Chronicle crossover. Nice. I only have one Final Fantasy card sitting here. It's Garnet. The other ones are down there. Sending some cards to PSA. They get graded. Ooh, fancy dancy. Another gold orb. Gold orb, Ethel. Garland. Which Garland? Garland? Final Fantasy... Mobius Final Fantasy Garland? Is that the Garland you would like? Yeah, so far these pulls aren't great. Well, we're not down to 100 yet. We're not down to 100. Yeah, I haven't dug. I've just kind of popped in here and there and tried to catch things when I could in terms of people's reaction to Dare to Defy.
No, I wish I could stay away from the fucking community as much as you have been lately, honestly. I'm having a slow period at work, so I'm on Discord more than I should be. And, I'm so tired of talking about Dare to Defy.
What about streamers? Because I really haven't been even at my computer. I'm behind on emails and everything.
It's pretty much the same. Like, it sounds like the majority of streamers and people on Discord dislike it.
Really?
Lion's sending me some receipts now too. Yeah.
Because I would think this is great for streamers. I mean, more content, more things to do.
Most of the streamers are skipping it.
Oh.
And one of the streamers said repeatedly he doesn't think anyone's going to be able to do all 7. He's like, not any of the challenge runners, not any of the other content creators or normal players. He doesn't think repeatedly saying this is an impossible task.
Is this don't say it on air, but this is someone I know.
Yeah.
said they don't think anyone will be able to, like, that has never crossed my mind at all. Because, like, where do you have to have been living to think that our community won't rise to the challenge?
To be fair, I think everybody in chat, let's be real here. I think a lot of the DeFo content creators live in their own little bubbles and servers.
Right.
Never interact with each other. I don't think there's a lot of overlap when it comes to Simply Lost fans and Josepher fans and Lids fans and Chris fans. Like, I don't think... Or who else streams this game? Heavy Kira, Jet Set. I don't think... outside of the TCC family, Mazzalento, there's a lot of overlap in the fans. And so I think, like, if anything, if you guys watch some of the streams of people talking about Dare to Defy, I think it just highlights how insanely out of touch a lot of the streamers have become. Because a lot of them weren't challenge runners to begin with.
Right.
And a lot of them, the default's kind of like we said in the stagnant state. It's not really growing. So I think a lot of them are it's just them and their regulars now. Like, there's no collabs, there's no talking amongst them. It's just like, I can't do this. None of my 5 fans can do this. I don't think anyone can do it.
Huh, interesting. Yeah, I would think this would be great for streamers because, again, it gave you something to do. Do it a few different ways, but... I'm not a professional defo content creator, so what would I know? This is just a hobby for me. Just a hobby. As I look at the thousands.
This is what I think, guys. My prediction. Here's my prediction. I think out of all of the content creators we're familiar with, I think Josepher is probably going to be the only one to do Dare to Defy. I can't think of anyone else doing it. Yeah, nobody. I think Josepher is the only one, guys. I'm going to call it right now. Josepher will be the only one who does Dare to Defy. I was going to say maybe Broadway, but I remember in the last Fireside chat, Broadway went on a huge rant about how you should only use Cam and Titus. He played JP, he knows better now, and not using Cam and Titus in Shinryu is just self-inflicted torture. He felt very strongly about that, so I'm pretty sure only Josepher is going to make it.
Yeah, and again, for someone who does stream a lot, I would think this is good content for him, so, yeah. I would hope so. Well, we got a... Oh, ho, 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 ho!
Oh, I just caught up.
There's something. No FR.
Oh, you guys are right. Machilento. I think Machilento will be able to do it. He does it all the time. I don't know how he feels about Dare to Defy. I haven't seen his thoughts on it. people in the audience, do you guys know Machilento's stance on this? Does he like Dare to Defy? Is he having fun? Also, fuck Mark for getting... I think Mark has every BT in the game.
No, I do
at
not.
This point.
I do not.
Practically.
I probably could if I bought them, yes. I may or may not have enough BT orbs, BT tokens to get every BT, but oh wow. How many tickets? 240 do I need to spend? No FR though, man. I'll go down to 300 on this banner. Unless somebody wants to add to the tally.
Well, I mean, now you have to get the force weapon, right? You have the whole kit besides it.
Yeah, I don't think you do have to get the force weapon, actually, right? Like, don't have to get the force weapon at all. I have to pull 240 tickets. That's what I have to do. I do have a lot of tickets, man. I have a lot of tickets. I may just keep pulling, because why the hell not? It's the law. But we do have some things coming out the next couple days, so. Gotta save some tickets! Share the ticket, love! Come back to it. I will do 300 on this banner. Even though we only got 24 subs. Nice even 300. 300 tickets. That's just the generous kind of guy I am. Yeah, so got a burst. I will show you when I'm done which bursts I'm missing.
Oh shoot, somebody asked earlier. I'm gonna scroll up. Was it... Oh, Indolent Lard says there's a very small possibility that maybe we get a new FR that isn't on the JP schedule yet. Which character the hosts wish to get from this context? Indolent, there's no fucking way I am betting money that we're getting a GL first FR. You're fucking crazy. They usually hype the shit out of GL firsts.
Nowadays,
like
they
Josh,
do.
Yeah, like Josh would have made a huge fucking deal about it.
Yeah, now they do.
Like, they would not have passed over. But if we're going to entertain this deluded fantasy, and it's called Red Comets, then give me a Jekt FR. No, wait, Jekt just got a tuning. That's not going to fucking happen. Mark? If it's a GL first? What the fuck? I just... God
hey,
damn it.
Kula Diamond 2000 asks, what does everyone think of Dare to Defy? Well, rewind a couple hours, Kula, and you'll hear a lot of content about that. Yeah, we talked a lot about that. Good players get the BTs. What can I tell you, man? Pan Mark.
I felt bad. I feel like I lingered on the Dare to Defy conversation.
No, it's good. Longer. It's good, man.
You were definitely trying to push it forward, I think.
No, it's good. There's another BT.
No FR. My god.
No FR.
Now you have to get the FR.
What will it cost? What will it cost? Everything. I haven't. There. You need 4 of them. I've gotten none, so it's looking real good. Real good. Put in the BT pile. What did I say? I said 300. Right?
Yeah. What are you at now?
I got 30 more.
Okay.
30 more. 10 more. 3 more chances. 30 more chances, but 3 more pulls. 3 more pulls. 3 more pulls. I'll take 2 BTs though. Any day. Any day of the week. Take a BT. I think the last one.
Free Void asks if you sold
I will look. We will look. After this next poll, we will look, and I will tell you what BTs I'm missing and how many tokens I have. I don't think it's a lot, but it probably is. It probably is. It probably is. It's probably a lot, but what's a few BT tokens between friends? What's a few BT tokens? Somebody get your calculator out. Do the maths. Do the maths on the BT tokens. Okay, so no FR, but 2 BTs. I'll take it. So token shop, BTs. Yeah, I'm missing all kinds of BTs. I thought I pulled Chegrin.
Hey, Redbeard, are you excited that Lion's gonna get her force enhancement soon in a couple of weeks? C90.
Sworn I pulled Chegrin. Anyway, so this is saying I'm missing 5, which would be 250 burst tokens, correct? I'm missing Ultimisha, Karen, Greg, Caius, and Shrek. So that's 250. So 250. Let me put this on my spreadsheet here. 250 needed. I got 40 right here, 40 tokens, right? 10 things there, so that's 50 tokens. So 40 and 50 is 90. Need 250. So if I go into my inbox, can I sort by... Oh, crap. That's not what I wanted to do at all. Anyway. That's not what... Now I got a lot more tickets. I got 4, right? Okay, I got 4 in there. So, that's 20. Right? 20. Then you have Dimensions End. Right? Hold on. Dimensions End. Dimensions End. Transcendence. And there's 3 times 9 is 27. So there's 27 in Transcendence. I've not claimed any of my Transcendence boards. And so so we got 40, 50, 90, 110, 137. So we're at 137 of 250. So that just leaves the extra BTs. So let's look at the extra BTs. Okay, here we go. Well, let's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So 22 times 5, 50, 100, 110. Right? Is that 110? Yeah, so we are at 247. So I am 3 BT tokens. I have not completed the challenge missions for... Oh, maybe I did for Odin. Anyway, I am 3 BT tokens short of just tokening everything. So... Which is not my plan, because they do come back. But I do have enough to nearly token 5 BTs, which I am missing. So there you go. Hey, well, I got to be up in like 6 hours, so I think we're gonna call it good at this point.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you all for hanging out with us. Happy to have you all. Thank you for the subs, the gifted subs, the memberships. Love you guys. Check out Tree Void channel for their show with Lion and Elfanaud. BC's here. Check out BC.